they went on the bloody Harbour Bridge.
Yeah.
Oh.
Huh?
There you go. US government lawyer.
We should be live.
That how much her job sucks. Has lost her job.
What was that?
A US lawyer vented
Yeah.
about
Very
how much
good.
her job sucks. And now she lost her job. Now she doesn't have a job.
Oh.
I'll just wait for some people to come in.
Well, to be fair, she was talking about immigration, she was talking about working for Trump in general, and how the system sucks, you know, that people, the bad people are getting let off with warning and...
One, two. EDF, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well today. So, as you can see,
Good, here's number.
yes, Ryan, this is Chinese 151 gathering, to be precise. Honestly, I hope so too. So, I got a full booster box of it the other day, and we'll be opening 5 for today's stream. Let's hope for some fun encounters from it. As you can see, it's going to be important because we don't have much of a team so far. Okay. So, Krabby, which is okay. Nido Queen, not bad. There we go. AP issue. Nido and female, easier. Good to see you, Laura. And Kangas Kalaniacs. Okay. At the moment, I think the only one we can get is the Nidoran. I have to
18-month-old, 3-week-old baby.
Backtrack to
Last year. It's taken 18 months to investigate.
second live, not including the test stream, Laura, but good to see you nonetheless.
Anyway, this morning, the boy's mother has also been arrested.
So, Golbat,
Charged with cruelty,
Bulbasaur, unfortunately can't get until I get Sir. Poliwrath, Venonat, can get to him when we get to the other side of the moon, and Ponytail Pokeball, very nice.
This is what we're talking about. Former NRL player pursues intruders wearing just his undies. There's a lot of people that are, taking books in their undies.
Good to see you, Laurie. Hope you're doing well. Turn that up a smidge, see if that helps. Okay. Magnemite, Arcanine, Poliwag, there we go. Paris, so that's going to be one of the ones we get. And Chansey. I believe we can get Poliwag. I'd have to double check that when we progress. So Seal, Magma, Gloom, okay, that's good. Voltorb, and another Pokeball, Tangela.
Can't afford food. But beer, no, that's fine. It's broken system still.
Sleeping Bell, no surprise. Tentacle, Weedle, that will be dupes. Dragonair, beautiful card. And Charmeleon Pokeball. Okay, again, Charmeleon's not one we can get just yet.
Oh, you folks had it. We worked hard all day.
Mm-hmm.
We should be able to go to the pub now and
Alright.
beer.
So,
Meanwhile, the kids are on the street with e-bikes running around and...
if I'm not mistaken, this will be the order that we can get them in. Pikachu, Nidoran, Paris, Venonat, and then Poliwag.
Yeah, what a freak. Someone made a famous restaurant up and
So,
firing at people on the pedestrian bridge at Onwa.
let's set them down and let's get started. Okay, as I said in the last stream, I was going to send some things over to give me a hand with the level grinding and the like. So let's start by going into the Viridian Forest again. Check the Pikachu on.
He was actually worked out too.
Okay, no, we can get Pichu, but not Pikachu, so I'm not going to count the Pikachu, only because that's unfortunately not going to be an easier evolution. Yes, it's Pikachu, but again, due to difficulty, it becomes less valid to do. Let's check. Yep, we can get the Nidoran encounter here.
The games have started, not the ceremonies and the
So we'll go for
10 minutes
Nidoran female, then we'll move on.
Play the payoff area.
Female, not male.
In darkness. So 10 minutes after it started. So Carling was one of the first events to take place in the Winter Games ahead of the official ceremony on Friday.
There we go.
They got off to work will start up to the arena started some lighting issues in the opening stage, which you'd think they figured that one out.
Alright. Now, next up will be the Paris.
Screens went off inside the arena.
I would always recommend, if you play this game, to fight all the trainers. The amount of the money you get from them is significant. Right. So the plan for today is I'm going to go as far as Vermilion, only because there's such a small gap between Misty and Lieutenant Surge.
British backpacker travelling around Australia got trickled her life and she called it a stomach bug.
Oh no.
Then she gave birth. That was the stomach bug. She was pregnant. 2.9 kilos. There you go.
Yeah, that'd be size baby too.
21-year-old is on a 6-month adventure with her boyfriend. Wild beach parties and boozy boat trips. What in July last year she started to feel unwell.
You know what? Only because we're gonna say like 300 anyway.
However, labor started, her symptoms worsened, and she thought that her headaches hurt, so she went to hospital. And
We'll also include
labor.
Zubat's fully gold batting to the card. I recommend going into every Pokemon Center as you progress because it makes it a lot easier.
And now there's the baby. It's coming right now.
Okay, so there we go.
She was size 6.
Here you're gonna see a very, very important mechanic to this game.
She had no.
The mining mechanic. I won't spend too long on it here, but I would always recommend it.
They said she seems to discover the reason she had no idea that she was pregnant was because her placenta was pushed back into her stomach.
Mining is very dependent on two things.
Back in her spine, so that's why she didn't have a bump.
Your level and your pickaxe.
That's the end of the good of the holiday.
They said in this woman's case.
Your mining level goes up quite quickly if you know what you're doing.
Graves' disease, which is an autoimmune disorder.
Much like the fishing experience.
That can cause fatigue, dizziness, and weight loss. So she didn't even know that.
You can also make encounters from the mining if you are of a high enough level. I don't intend to do too much here, just because it is a much more tedious job.
Because of this disease thing, and then so she just thought, and
so we will do
at no point did you have to realize
up till level 4, and then I might do some for money grinding after the live, just because
the parents are now preparing to head back home.
It is very profitable when you get to the higher levels.
Admitting they're bringing back much more of the memories from their gap year in Australia. Yeah. Imagine going home to the parents. Well, guess what?
My grandparents.
Yeah, surprise.
Hey, and Jack, good to see you. Hope you're doing well today. Yeah, hope you enjoy the new restaurant. Right. Let's keep going. Mostly because Mount Moon is so much more than just the small mining grind. In fact, mining's not even a big thing until you get to around Cinnabar.
And that will tell them whether or not your penis is normal or whether you enhanced it and gone. And have been stuffing clay into their underwear. There you go.
What's that joke?
No idea. They've injected hydrochloric acid into their penis. They've been stuffing clay into their underwear. Where the jump, therefore, has to wear a larger suit, which means that It reduces their descent rate, effectively turning them into human gliders. Very much cheating, but it's funny that they now have some microchip their penises. And because we see that from the Olympic starting.
There we go. Yeah.
That it's going to be a interesting one.
Right, one down, one to go here. I really do recommend every encounter you can get with the trainers.
Controlled checkpoint.
You can fight them again every 24 hours. Let's see if I can remember which of these two is the
Card violation, just like in
Paris. So
with a violation resulting in a red card and disqualification from the next event.
nope.
And the team losing a skater slot in the competition.
Actually, no. Paris is exclusive to the tail end.
There's someone that probably should be good enough to do it.
So we'll take care of that when we get around there. Okay. Caterpie's gone. Smoke raid. Okay, I'll turn the mic up a bit more. Metin, JC, Smokey, good to see you here, brother. Sorry about that. Alright, let's see how that is. Alright. Let me know how that is, fam.
That seems stupid.
Alright. Seriously, Smoke, I think you'd really enjoy this game for the challenge that it brings later on.
So, he's a disabled woman.
Which one is in here? Oh, here's for Paris. There we go.
Choking. A support worker bought her a burger and didn't cut it up or anything and just gave it to her. And then she died.
There we go. Paris is out of the way now.
Yeah, that was...
Alright, so Paris is done. It should only be Ben and that.
Raised concerns about whether it was appropriate to give her a burger considering her disability.
And the polybag left.
Textured foods and required supervision while eating.
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
That's a minute though.
they said, work health and safety said that there's no significant, there's no significant evidence to commence prosecution against the worker.
Minky leveled up, but not the one I wanted to level up. There we go. The benefit to always having a few potions on hand.
Yeah, I think that they definitely should have been prosecuted.
What moveset do you have? Still only line, but I'll move you up front, and we'll grind more levels and you're faster this way.
Those poor boys that died from that suicide in Perth.
There we go.
Now more stuff's coming out.
Chris, good to see you. Marvel! Hope you're doing well, my friend.
Severe autism. One was completely non-verbal.
Let's get a bit
They
further
were
down.
at a prestigious grammar school.
What?
At a prestigious grammar school.
Oh.
But they stopped attending in recent years because one of them was expelled after a spitting incident. They then moved them to special needs school, but
not worth it when
the parents were
sand
completely
attacks the
asleep
first move it uses.
because the boys never slept at night. They
There
slept
we
during the
go.
day in class, which is why they get angry and, you know.
I'm not able to zoom that. Thankfully,
Approached the boy's mother after he was expelled.
confusion and teleport, confusion status and teleport do not work in the wild battles in this game, thankfully. Okay, karate chop over Fury.
I think more needed. Yeah, I think more needed to be done. Those parents were completely struggling, and without the NDIS,
One shot the Geodude.
what other, you know, they had no other.
One shot the Geodude.
Especially because she was French, so she wasn't fighting.
JC, you know it.
So it was like the father was Australian, so even less help. And then you got two kids that aren't sleeping, which means the parents aren't sleeping.
Of course it is.
Yeah. No money whatsoever.
Let's do
wonder
this.
why they did what they did. Yeah. It shouldn't have happened. No. But you understand why it did. Yeah. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, it happens for a reason.
This is the unfortunate part, having to do a bit more level grinding before we progress.
Yeah, you can only do so much.
That's right, and then you give them nothing.
Yeah.
But I think the government, you know, this whole NDIS thing is just a shit show. Yeah. I mean, look at Bloody Grace, you know? Yeah. She needed all that money and help and...
Okay, not gonna worry about you anymore. For the moment. Alright. Love that happening. You'd be surprised how often you can get the encounter in front of a trainer, then trigger the two sides of the encounter simultaneous. Let's send Brigadier back out to finish
water yesterday.
the...
you know that silver dish that... or dog's dish or something? Ted will only drink out of that. And he doesn't care if it's dirty as hell, he will drink out of it. I don't understand him. He's got a dish in with his biscuits. Won't drink out of that, drinks out of this. Like I'm a monster. I was telling Nan about Ted doing the whole he wouldn't eat the
There we go. Okay, so no revives at the moment. So I'll just move Star you to the front. Now we're flying through this part of the game, which is why I wanted us to have a bit further to get. Like a easy win with there we go. Let's check it is banana or polywagon. Okay. So Venonat and Polywag are not here. I'm getting that up a bit further. And Viper is going down very quickly too. And that is why Proki is the best starter for this game. Its coverage is ridiculous and it is so easy to get to a high enough level to just floor everything. Unfortunately, if you don't choose Proki for your starter, the only other way currently from memory is the game corner. So unless you're doing a challenge like what I'm doing, I would always recommend going the Proki. Right, so that's done. Right. Alright, let's keep going. There's 24 has got none of the ones that we need. Oh, but it does have one that I overlooked. Turns out we are gonna get Krabby. Okay, so give me 1 second, then I'll be right.
Can I put music on?
Please don't. I got hit with copy. Alright, let's do this. Thankfully, yeah, Route 24 and Nugget Bridge is honestly cakewalk. Especially when you know what you're doing. Except for the fact that Psywave isn't as effective as, say, Confusion would be. As good as Psywave is, it's only really useful if you get the right numbers. Let's move over to Proki again. Proki is honestly a very powerful carry early on, except for Misty, which is why I'm trying to level up some of my others. I'm not going to bother with Cathedral anymore, only because beetle loses usefulness quite quickly after this part of the game. Done. Yep. Okay. I might quickly take a minute to forgot the bridge technically can't be fished from because they've made it so that it's a little too high, even if it doesn't perceive as such. There we go. Just heal up Brigadier a smidge. So one change is because of how costly the nugget really became in this game fast. You don't actually get a nugget in most of the game. You can find them from rare events, but the cost of them has actually been removed almost entirely. They're only really for crafting, and even then it is a ridiculously rare thing. Let's do this. Thankfully, unlike last time, we're not after something ridiculous in terms of fishing. We're just after an uncommon. But with an old rod, it is still going to take us a little while to fish. Okay, only because of the usefulness, I might consider doing the 3-day gold membership next stream, only because I don't see it being as handy until we need to hit some of the bigger encounters, which, knowing my luck, we're going to pull something ridiculous very soon. Give me just a second, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, no JC. There is a way to get it on mobile, but on mobile phones, but it's on PC and mostly it's a web browser based MMO, very well designed and made. After a few issues at the start. They've been putting a lot more work into it recently, mainly towards yeah.
What else did you pick me up? Turn on the floor.
Oh no, it's broken.
Yeah. The events, namely Christmas and Halloween, where there's costume Pokemon.
And it fell on the floor. Because the link broken off it. Like it keeps coming out.
I gotta buy you a new fan.
And then last night, I had the fan on, and it's like this, and Josie's right under it. Like I'm glad it didn't fall. Adam's like, oh, it's gonna fall on us. Nope, it didn't fall. It's right. And
I'm just gonna let it close that blind.
Yeah.
On the front door, keep the heat out.
Yeah.
You reckon?
Okay.
Yeah, so
Once I've got the Krabby, I'll probably speak of the devil. Didn't think so.
Is that good enough?
Yeah.
Okay. Now it's in that century. But yeah, so we broke it in.
Good. Perfect.
Can anybody hear me?
Might. Yeah.
One person says yes.
Wait, which one was that? Oh, of course they top up the deity altar. Okay, so one way to increase certain experience gain is with the different altars of that you can see once you get to Vermilion City. They decided to top up the mining one, which isn't bad for the most part. Okay, so we really don't need any of these guys at the moment for the team. Okay, so Krabby's out of the way. Let's see if I'm right about Venonat being Venonat and Poliwag being on the way up to Bill. I think Venonat is. I can't remember for sure if Poliwag is on 25 though. Yeah, there's a little bit of grass there, so let's check the encounter table. Okay, I stand corrected. Neither are. Unless... No, neither of them are. Very well, guess we're up to Misty after all. Fun. Good thing is we've got some grinding we can get done before we take Misty on directly, but not a lot. Okay. Shoot. Okay, so I am going to switch to Oddish. Oh, scratch that. Brigadier is going to be my only option here. And I'm going to have to go heal, and we're going to have to work out another plan after this battle. Yeah, Poke MMO is not bad. I honestly prefer PokeNexus here because it is a very challenging game once you get past the first region, because you unlock megas right off the bat. You start seeing mega evolutions in amongst the actual gym leaders themselves, of course, outsped. Let's try Star Use Sideways. There we go. Good. Of course, not enough to heal. Okay, good thing is, well, technically not where we should be going. No, we can't do that, can we? No, not until, yeah, need the Cascade badge. Okay, so that rules that way out, and we can't go much further towards what's the route off that way? Route 9 and Rock Tunnel, because again there are things in the way, so we're gonna have to train on the trainers along here, at least for a little bit. Okay, good, one down. Geodude next is gonna be one shot, or sturdy, of course. Okay. Lass, what have you got, and why am I going to be swapping right away? Yep, I know why I was saying swap immediately. Rattata. Hardy Chop one shot, and then Brigadier for Icy Wind. Good thing is we're making a good amount of money while we're at it. Okay, Slowpoke. Saw that coming. I knew Vine wouldn't kill. Oddish. Absorb. 50%. Became confused. That's okay. Hurt itself in confusion. Bugger. Okay, so love when Lick doesn't instantly knock the Pokemon out. Let's backtrack real quick. The good thing is all mounts are basically the same as the bike, aside from appearance and rarity. I can go over a few of them when we get a little further into the game, and maybe hit up a swarm if we get lucky. upgrade? What do you have? Okay. You just have to start difficult, don't you? Thankfully, not too difficult. Unfortunately, male and female is a little trickier. Okay. So, I'm sure some of you may wonder, some abilities do have out of the battle effects like static and intimidate, as well as eliminate, but the majority of those that normally do, for example pick up, don't have their ability outside of battle. Pickup is actually useless in Nexus because when they first put it in, it was discovered that it was a little broken, unfortunately. Okay. Of course. Always fun to see people get the overpowered encounters early on. Really, PG, you had to hit me with that. There we go. Not the one I wanted to level up then, but we've got this. Okay. Now, that is all of the trainers here done. But what we can do is take advantage of the fact that most water types will essentially be 1 or 2 shot here. Yeah, growth, not needed. We just need to get up a few more levels, and both Bellsprout and Oddish should be able to essentially sweep Misty. Although it would be better if it wasn't just the normal team of Staryu and Starmie, because Starmie's gonna be a bit tricky. Still doable, but tricky. Thankfully, though, this is a pretty quick part of the game. Just sit back and watch your Pokemon level up and hopefully evolve. There we go. Don't really want Mankey to get too much more experience just yet. Alright. The good thing is, shiny Pokemon are actually locked behind the first Elite Four, the Kanto Elite Four. So as long as I don't get there, I don't have to worry about the shiny claws, which shiny rates are 1 in 6,000, I think. 1 in 8,000, one of the two. but you'd be surprised once you start really getting into the game how many you find. Let's see. This part is going to be very interesting for no one. The level grind is honestly the most annoying part of the game, but thankfully it gets easier. And those are the next level up. And just hit, yep. And there we go, Krabby dropping that super potion is going to come in handy, providing I don't need it before the gym. Something I've always got to remember is to be careful of that. Not expecting much having to go on for the next maybe 10 minutes while I'm doing this. Let's see. Thankfully, every time your Pokemon levels up, you actually get a essentially a complete heal on the Pokemon, so the HP goes back up to 100%, and it just becomes a whole lot easier. I do really wish it was easier to get Pichu to evolve, but in this game it can take anywhere from 5 minutes to several hours, and it's not worth it when I can come back once I can use Cut, and that is easier. And there we go, Bellsprout's hit level 18.
Mm-hmm. Isn't there another fan in the lobby?
Alright. I think once we get to 19 we should be good. So that happened fast. Let's... Nothing that happens. do this. I'd say 5 more encounters and we're done. Just estimating it here. Again, no surprise. The good thing is this means if I draw another Dratini or Dragonair later on, my fishing level should be alright for going into Safari Zone. Because unfortunately Kanto Safari Zone is fishing level locked to 25. There we go, that's the last one we needed. Bellsprout at 19, Oddish at 19. Should be good. Even though Frogadier won't be used, I'll still hit the Pokemon Center to quickly heal beforehand. Just remember that you don't have to go up to Nurse Joy, you just walk in and walk back out. Okay, Goldeen. That's fine, we've got this. There we go. And now let's reorganize that. One revive, I'm not really working with that unless I have to. I will super potion the Bellsprout, however. That's right, it's not just the one thing that I forgot they changed up was the fact that it's going to be a whole team now. Shit. This gets annoying fast. Some sleep powder. Hope that works. Yes, it does. Good. Mega Drain. I hate having to do that, but I knew I wouldn't survive otherwise. And I still may not survive this battle with everything in place. Shoot. Thankfully, that's one thing that is guaranteed. The ace is rarely ever used before the rest of the team. It's programmed to stay that way. Okay. Since you outspeed, chances of survival are slim. I'm going to swap into Mankey to take a flail. That's right. Competitive and trainer battles, that is no longer a swag is no longer permissible. Shit. Oh, surviving on 1 HP and then getting Mega Drain off. I might actually have this battle now. There we go, we did it. Okay, so Misty's down. And that is the good thing. Now, let's make our way down and hit up I'm just going to remember the rules here, but tell me that Legendaries is 2. No, okay. So, when they added the Generation 7 Pokemon in, yeah, because they haven't gotten to that point in the map progression yet, they decided that we're just going to put all of the Alolan region in at previous locations, which is good because, let's be honest, Alola had some really useful Pokemon. I wouldn't say bad, but annoying, because if you're doing a Professor Oak challenge like on one of my other accounts, it basically means you have to go back and pick certain things up that you didn't think you'd need. Okay, so turns out we may not get Venom at this stream, but we are getting Poliwag. And because I can use Cut, technically now I might also go back and get Pikachu once we get the Poliwag done. Oh, level 15 for Kanto Safari Zone. That's not 25 is Dragon's Den in Johto, I believe, as well as Johto Safari. But that is later on in the story. Actually, no, 25 could also be Victory Road. I know it's one of them, but we'll see what one. We're just looking for the Poliwag. Looking for a Poliwag. Come on. Poliwag. Since you're gonna survive this hit, I'm gonna do Poliwag. And there we go. Not ideal, but I won't complain. I'm only saying not ideal because anyone that knows the Poliwag line knows how annoying it gets at times. It's a good Pokemon, but I was kind of hoping with something different. Good. Okay. Butterfree's gonna be annoying because I don't have anything now to take on the Butterfree. Unless I can. So that coming, that's fine. Oddish. Sleep. Sleep, sleep, sleep. Damn it. Okay. Okay, 90. Seismic toss did it. There we go. Let's heal up again. Okay, yeah, that is the first time I've seen that mask. The Charizard mask over here might be from the more recent event. Not that it was too recent anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna go buy a few potions because we're gonna need them for the next part. Let's go 20 supers and 20 regulars. Trust me, if you can buy them, you buy them, because it's gonna be helpful. So, is it? Oh, we need the ticket, don't we? Yep. I'm gonna go back to Bill and get the ticket. I hate forgetting that part. Alright, Nancy, you really don't threaten me as much as you think you would. The Pikachu's the bigger threat, but even that's not going to be too bad. As you see there. Thankfully, it's not going to take me too long to regroup with the bloody tickets. It's just irritating. So I've got a question for everyone in chat if you're still paying attention. What is one Pokemon you would like to see me get in this playthrough? It can be Kanto, it can be Johto, remembering that the game has everything up to Gen 7 in terms of the Pokédex. Knowing that some of them are easier to get than others as well. And there we go, the SSN ticket. And that is why I am more than happy to backtrack for a minute when I get to having cut, so I can just over and done with for Pikachu as well. I can't go down that way because Venusaur or Kyogre. So a Japanese Chinese 151 collect box, likely collect 151 gathering I've got here usually has 15 packs in it. Now, before we started today, I shuffled the packs to randomize where the hit of the box is, because we all know there's going to be a good card in it. I'd rather not get it in the very first go. So Venusaur is actually reasonable. I would say if I do that, I might go for the plan I had where we go and do a day solely for making your way to those points later on. Let's see if I can remember where to go here, not that way. And I love this little Easter egg to How I Met Your Mother. Look at the names. Sorry about that. Just family nearby that I knew would love that little Easter egg as well. Okay, so along and up, correct? Yep. Captain's room. There we go. Now the good thing is you do not actually need to teach cut to be able to use cut. You just need the HM in your inventory and a Pokemon on your team that could potentially learn it. So I'm going to do a detour before we take on Surge. First to show you this is the Altar Shrine. So as you can see, we have 3 altars that we can use. Arceus for experience, which is on its way to being filled. Kyogre is fishing experience only. They do stack, by the way, so you can have both Arceus and Kyogre going at the same time for the hour. And then Diancie for mining. I might do a little bit of mining on the way through Diglett tunnel here before we head on to getting Pikachu, only because it's going to become useful. So real quick, okay, no, we do not get Venonat before we go any further. That's fine. Okay. I would always recommend in this game, if you have, say, the fishing altar or the mining altar active, unless you do not have a need for it, take 5 minutes and spend some time doing that, because those altars really help you fly through the grind early game for levels. And the higher your mining level is, the more expensive gems you can mine, and more importantly, the better axes you can use. Like I just unlocked use of the good pickaxe, which increases your chance of getting something by, I believe it is 5%, or increases the rate you mine by 5%. I'm not going to go and buy the good pick just yet, only because it is a little more tedious. Let's tidy this up real quick while I think about it. But because we have cut, we will be going for the Pikachu once I get through Diglett's cave. But I've got to admit, I'm pretty happy with some of the cards I've already pulled today. If it wasn't for the fact that Bulbasaur is behind a surf section as well, I would say we could do the Bulbasaur hunt as well, but that is not possible at this point. Okay, that is actually something that is very interesting to mention. Wild encounters can go all the way up to level 180, 190 in some parts. From memory, maybe a little bit higher, but no matter what level they are when you encounter, when you catch them, they will always drop to level 40 if that is where you've maxed out at. If you've got a Pokemon above 40, it doesn't matter. Below 40, yeah, encounter wise, it will stay at that, but everything, once you encounter it, above level 40 will go down to level 40 upon capture. Only because it is easier to level grind at those levels, to level grind it and the EV grind it at those levels. What I might also do is I'll get to about 20 gems and I'll show you guys where to go and trade them, since we're heading over towards Pewter City anyway. Another thing that's really good is once you get higher levels of mining, I believe around level 10 or 15, you unlock the chance of dropping 2 gems for the price of 1. Yes, this part's going to be a little annoying. No, legendaries are a lot harder to get in this game than just random level. You've got to meet a lot of requirements, unfortunately. So we're talking you need to be in a specific area with, in most cases, a particular item unlocked and on your lead Pokemon, just to be able to go and do that encounter. That is not to say that it's impossible, but first off you need to get the particular item by meeting certain requirements. For example, Feather of Articuno from using an ice type to knock out Pokemon in Seafoam Islands. Then you need to equip the feather to your lead Pokemon, which can be anything after you get the feather. And you then need to go on a 1 in 100,000 encounter grind for the Articuno. So to answer your question about to show you where the gems are sold, you take them to a mining vendor. Each gem is worth a different amount, starting at I believe that like 250 or something like that a piece. I only went to 20 because I get a bit picky about the numbers I use. Okay, so this is what I mean about there's some extra locations and encounter tables. So this is Deep Viridian Forest 1. Here you can get a larger variety, but if you're after something like Bulbasaur, you need to wait till you've got surfing unlocked at Fuchsia City, and then you can go and surf to Deep Viridian 2 to encounter Bulbasaur and a few other Pokemon as well. We're just here for one little friend, however, which is the Pikachu. Very rare encounter, thankfully not impossible. Now those of you who are here for the first stream, remember that in Viridian Forest I found a pincer. You'll find that extremely rares like to turn up for brand new accounts in the first 2 to 3 days of the account. Peter Caterpie again. So a lot of people like to ask for interesting trades. There's a rule that it's only in the trade chat or in the direct messages to each other. I'm not gonna bother killing I'm not gonna bother knocking everything out here. Let me see this. I didn't get a pizza, did I? No, got the folder. Illegal, which is juice. Okay. No, I was gonna say if we did get a pizza, we'd have to be here a bit longer. But we're just after one Pokemon, which is the Pikachu. I hope that's in the right spot. Oh, did that come undone? Hold on. Okay, so my webcam isn't responding at the moment. Hey Troy, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. So until let's see if I can fix that real quick. That's connect you. See if that works. Doesn't seem to be. Unlocked. I mean, the good thing is that seems to be alright, otherwise it's just not responding. Okay, I'll figure that out another time. Let's get this Pikachu and go take on Surge. Hope everyone's enjoying their day or night so far, and also enjoying the stream. So, no matter the level of your Pokemon, you will always have a chance to fail the run without a smoke ball, which you can get for, I believe it's 130,000 on the market, and something like 25 elite tokens once you beat the Kanto region, including the Elite Four. Normally, if you're doing something like this, I would always recommend knocking down the Pokemon for experience while you're at it, but considering we just need one encounter and we're gone, I'm going to say we don't have to worry so much. Knock them out if they're low enough level and it doesn't bother you. Aside from that, it's really not worth it. Okay. Alright. Let's see. Okay, so the webcam's still not responding by the look of it. Doesn't seem like. I'll try and figure that out later. I'm not going to worry about the webcam acting up now. Because you can technically still see who we're hunting by looking at the pack art. Pikachu is all we need here. Annoying being a very rare encounter though. 1 in 250, I believe, 1 in 300 chance. There we go, Odyssey has evolved, which is good. And Bellsprout will evolve after the next knockout. If I'm not mistaken, yes. Okay. Let's do this. Where's this Pikachu? Alright. Okay, yeah, no, that tournament is way out of my league at the moment. Very tempting though with that Charizard art. Alright. Let's see how that's like that. 1.5 hours so far. Let's just get this out of the way, get ourselves over to Surge, and we can have fun taking him out. But first we need to get this Pikachu. Alright. This is the fun part of this game, because unfortunately I've had times there where I've had to spend about a week on this one encounter. Thankfully not something as likely as Pikachu, but still. Alright. What I might do is, if I don't get the Pikachu in the next, say, 7 minutes, I'll go beat Surge and catch the Pikachu off stream. Only because we are so close to the end of this section that this is just gonna drag it out longer than it needs to be. Thankfully, Pikachu is also the easiest of the PokeNexus starters to encounter outside of the starter option, with Eevee being the hardest. You need to get Pokemon boxes for Eevee, whereas Pikachu you just need a bit of patience. So let's try and make it up, check this. Yeah, Pikachu's available in the grass here, it's just a waiting game. Alright, come on now. Where's the dual electric mouse? Alright. Okay, that was hilarious timing. Someone asking, why Onyx is an extremely rare, and then another person getting it right at that exact moment. I feel bad for him when that happens, but I just hope he gets the metal coat drop, because otherwise that is bloody expensive. 800,000 minimum. Right, there's the altars done, good. Come on. Okay. Come on, you've got this. Truly appreciate you being here, everyone. And he got the metal coat drop, that's even better. And it looks like some people need to revisit the guide to learn what you can get in this game. One thing you can line up if you are lucky enough is a revive, which, as I'm sure you guys can all agree, would come in handy. Especially since you can now auto use revives from the settings. Yeah, that's one thing that people tend to forget. Legendary's been so rare, 9 times out of 10, no one gives a damn about how it's actually turned up for you. It's better if you get the better natures for sure, but okay, that is one hunt I am going to dread doing if we end up pulling the card, and that is sadly Kangaskhan. Because Kangaskhan is, and I mean pulling the card when we get to the Safari Zone, because Kangaskhan is one of 4 Pokemon that you can get in its in the extremely rare slot for that part of the game. It would be better barely if we do it once we get to Johto Safari, only because it's actually got its own map there where it's a one at a time, not one of like 10 that you can get. From some of the other safari zones and the like. I mean, Ancient Cave, for example, is a nightmare because there's 7 extremely rares, all of them being the Ultra Beasts, aside from Buzzwole and the Gunneldale. I think they're with I think Buzzwole and the Gunneldale can't be encountered from memory. They've got to be bought from, I think it's the Shiny Orb shop. And I know that Cosmog is the legendary there. Come on, Pikachu, show up. Okay, well, Pikachu has not shown up, so we shall just go and take on Surge, and I'll just let Pikachu behind the scenes. Alright, now this battle is not going to be easy for me. I still think leading Weeping Bell is the right choice. But with half my options being either water or flying type, it becomes a lot more challenging, and because of the rule that I cannot catch anything that is not available as part of the packs that I have pulled, it means that it's going to be a lot harder to get the necessary encounters and, more importantly, get the dub. Saw that coming, and that is kind of why I wanted to do one battle at a time with healing in between. Now the good thing is, and that's why I didn't go to Pewter City Pokemon Center again, you can literally use any Pokemon Center to travel back and forth from anywhere on the map. Okay, as long as you there it. I was gonna say, as long as you stay asleep, I'm good, but I don't have anything to really win this battle. Low kick's gonna do 30%. There we go. Good. Okay. Okay, Mankey might be the better option overall, which means I'm gonna heal Mankey up. I'll revive Weeping Bell so I can keep leveling him. Okay. Pikachu Seismic isn't going to kill. Karate Chop isn't either, but Glen will not take too much damage there, and we can finish it off. That is a reason why you always carry Pokemon that can be used to finish a battle. Yeah, unfortunately, Pikachu's not going to be part of this team until the next stream, only because it did not want to appear. Saw that come in. Chop. Good. Okay, that's good. That is good. I need to heal up again. And I will put a bit of health into them. Fingers crossed we're ready. I forgot how big. Yeah. I don't think we're gonna get this. And the aftermath ability. Yeah, no. Gloom. So that unfortunately electrical. Okay, we got this. We've got this. I have faith. And there goes my faith in this battle. Because remember, Raichu's not Surge's ace. Electabuzz is in this game. Okay, we got this, we got this. Unfortunately, yep. Okay. Ooh. No, we don't got this. Actually. And that's one shot, yep. And okay. Didn't do as bad as I was expecting. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to level grind. Again, hold on, before I do that, let's do this. Okay, so that's all we've got. You're not bad, but you're not going to be helpful in this battle. You're okay, but again, you're not going to be helpful. Good. Okay, so let's take on the rest of the trainers here first. And we'll go from there. up to 22, that's good. Let's heal you up for the quick sweep on Hugo here. Wish I was joking, but this battle is over. Yeah, cross chop will come in handy. Okay, unfortunately, the more I think about it, the more I realise there is only going to be one way to win. Potentially one way to win at least. This battle is always hilarious because unfortunately you don't get Natu or Zatu until you unlock Surf.
You right, boss?
And the fun part of these battles, some of the trainers have actually been pre-programmed with the shiny Pokemon, like that Execute. I'm gonna try attack full. I always find that battle funny. Yeah, Laura. Let's do this. Thinking realistically, I believe my only option would be to try my luck with another pack and see what other encounters we may get. But with the current rules, that is out of the question. Yeah, Execute is a pretty good shiny, although it's only really good as Execute. Not the biggest fan of Execute or other variant, to be honest. Okay, let's heal up real quick. And I've got an idea actually. let's go to the... Let's double check the encounters. Never hurts to double check them before we make a mistake. That's one that I could possibly use. I'd have to do a lot of grinding again. But... oh, I've got an idea. I've got an idea. Because if I'm not mistaken, might be able to get a good move on Nidoran here. But in order to do that, I'll need a level blind. And actually another idea. I know that I need ground move. Dig. I know to go buy a Pokemon. I am however going to buy the TM for Dig. Because maybe... yes. Good. That Dig, that is going to come in handy. Now we just need a level grind up to level 20. For expediency with it, let's do Dulet Cave, because Frogadier should be able to just stomp through everything.
Do you want some lunch or?
Well, I'll just have a drink on it.
What?
I'm still full.
Okay.
Cheers and biscuits.
What do you want to drink of?
So the overall the challenge of this bit is got to level grind fast, but if you're not smart about it, you can actually lose track. Okay, that I've done that before with a tournament on my main account, right at the entrance when the timer hit 0. Ooh, after on reach, and they've finished home. Good on them. Universe, not Helen. Even more impressive. Okay. We're actually on a good pace with this level grind. We're already at 13. So I'd say we should hit 20 sometime in the next 3 or 4 minutes. If we hit 20 in the next 3 minutes, we're golden, especially considering male and female should be evolving in that in less time than that, because once we hit 16, Nidoran should evolve. Saw that coming. If only we could catch a Dugtrio or Diglett, it would be even better overall for us, but they just can't be choosers. I issued this challenge for myself, and I'm not going to let something like a simple oh, it's going to be easier issue stop me from finding a way around the difficulty that it inflicted. Okay, so we need a arena at 16. Decent stats actually. And that is a shiny Teddiursa mask. I don't even know what event the Teddiursa mask came from.
Get on the walk of it, I'm trouble getting up. Get on the table.
I love the fact that it seems like the packs have almost wanted this to be more of a challenge. Currently seems like we're looking at whenever a Pokemon could come in handy, it's completely overlooked. Would love to know why that is all of a sudden. I mean, don't get me wrong, Ponyta or Growlithe would have been perfect for the next part, and Ponyta actually wouldn't be too hard to get. More tedious than difficult. But Growlithe is right there. Once we get to Lavender Town, you literally can't miss any. The only issue I've got at the moment with running Nidorina is for Nidoqueen, we need to hit a lot of encounters in Mount Moon again, so I might grind for a Moonstone in Mount Moon later. Again, I'll do that off stream so that it's not another 7-hour grind or whatever. We really have done 2 hours. That's definitely surprising me. Thanks for keeping us updated, Ryan. Okay. So we've just about hit 19 on Nidoran. Or Nidorina. I'm only going as high as 20 because I know with the right timing I can get everything I need from a level 20 Nidorina. At least I hope. And thankfully, we're actually really not doing too bad. There we go. Probably we're up to 24, not that that's going to help too much at this point. We only realistically need about 2 more wins, and yeah, this should be the last battle we need before Nidorina is ready. There we go. So remove the XP share. Fury swipe. For now over scratch. You there. Oh. Well, there's a streamer I was not expecting to see. Yeah, here Res QQ is a streamer I watch play on occasion over on Twitch. So what I'm going to do is go double check if I can't afford the moonstone here. I think it's only 100,000, but we'll see. Scratch that, it's only 70. Let's get this now. I thought it was more because it's actually a very broken item. Boom. Okay, so we got Nido Queen. While Dig is the only ground move that she has at this moment, I have faith. Does she learn any? I'm not taking her all the way up to 43 just to get Earth Power on a bunch of mid-21s. So let's do this. One down. Providing that's not a levitate, which I don't think it can be. Good. That was risky. Yes. Okay, that's 3 down. Tail whip, okay.
Oh, I'm still a little short. Oh, bastard.
Thank goodness for the ground typing on the Nido Queen. Ooh, that was close. And it's just Pikachu, which we win. We win. Okay, there we go. Well, I love when you underestimate a Pokemon like that. I completely forgot about Nido Queen potentially learning more. So, since we've just completed that gym, I think this is the perfect place to call it for today. Next stream we'll go and definitely get to I would say Celadon for sure. Hopefully we can get a few more encounters along the way. And in the meantime, I'll go back, I'll get the Pikachu encounter, and I'll probably do some grinding for mining.
I got there.
So
Do you need help?
much love to
I thought I was 11 short.
all of you, and I'll see you all in the next stream. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out. See you around.